Okay, here we are back again with Armageddon Part 6. Manila. Concerned citizens, so this is the Philippines, Manila is the capital of the Philippines. Concerned citizens have warned the public of syndicates who have been abducting victims for their human organ trade activities. According to Viral4Real.com, an internet blog news magazine, a recent post on Facebook expressed an alarm that the kidnapping syndicates are on the go again, preying on women and children as their victims. The post reveals the presence of syndicates that go around Manila and the provinces who get women and children by forcing to sell their organs to other countries at a price ranging from 100,000 to 500,000 pesos, depending on the kind of organ transplant needed. Organs possible for transplant include the heart, kidneys, liver, lungs, pancreas, intestines, and thymus, while tissues include bones and tendons, cornea, skin, heart valves, nerves and veins. My advice to President Duterte is to set up traps, ask her questions, and kill on the spot. President Duterte has no idea the similarity of what the angels will do when it begins in the very near future. The innocent Jews have a chance to turn to Jesus, but those of the genetic trait of the descendants of Nimrod are on very thin ice. The Bible is the greatest control of propaganda the world has ever seen. Of the hundreds of versions and translations, the fox in charge of the chicken coop, the Council of Churches are Talmudic Judaism. In the Protocols of Zion, the learned elders of Zion, there are 24 sections outlining how they will dominate the earth. Protocol 14 states, "We shall forbid Christ." The point is, they must know that Christ will be born, then make war against them as he matures. I was and I am. Yet when confronted, they must lie to a Christian, and is denied by the Jews as a fake. Yet it was Henry Ford who owned his own newspaper that remarked, "If a fake, it is remarkably accurate in how the Jews dominate the world." Not one book of the Bible has escaped alteration or straight-out invention, as in the epistles of Paul, which dominates all Christianity, promoting the idea that Jesus will not come until the Jews occupy Palestine, and moreover proclaims all are forgiven by grace, accomplished by the cross, yet reverses Jesus, who says, "Take up your cross and follow me," meaning it is by works that one is saved, not by lounging back supporting Jews murdering Palestinians. I suggest that President Duterte rid the Philippines of Jews, close mosques and start a serious investigation in what Pope Benedict XVI wrote and uploaded to the internet on March the 26th, 2013, in Christum Credent, then arrested by the Antichrist Jesuit Jew Francis, the Black Pope. He killed Pope Benedict's staff when thugs forced their way into the papal office on April the 3rd, 2013. This date coincidentally mirrors the crucifixion date on April the 3rd, 33 AD. The present-day invasion of Palestine by the Jews can be likened to the Jews attacking the Philippines, saying they are the true owners of the Philippines. The Zionist Jews are behind the abominations in the USA and the world at large. The wars, the drugs, the poison, food, water, air, vaccinations, Muslim invasion, organ harvest. What will God do to them when Armageddon strikes? The Jews write that if the Christians discover what they do, they would kill us openly on the streets. I strongly advise President Duterte to view the most recent videos on YouTube found at Sword of Truth 3168, then realise that Christ is back. Likening the drug addicts to the Jews and Hitler is yet another deception by the Jews. There were no Jews killed in camps. These were all work camps. 180,000 Jews were in Hitler's army. As strange as it seems, if the Bible was permitted to only speak truth, the Jews would have no place to hide. DNA tests of the self-proclaimed chosen people circumnavigate the bullshit to the reality that they are descended from Cain via the Ammonite, Moabite, Hittite, and in total 35 races descended from Nimrod, who escaped the flood of Noah that was intended to wipe out these cannibals. Once up to speed, he will understand the reality of how the race of giants came to be. Mixing races of Noah descended from Seth, human beings created in the image of love, with Nimrod of hate via Cain, produced giants. In the next slide is a list of peoples and individuals listed in the Bible that were giants. Of them, Solomon took 700 wives and 300 concubines from these races, which was to produce offspring, and mixed with the 10 northern tribes of Israel, captured by Assyria and sent packing, ending up in Europe from 722 BC. Therefore many, not all, inherited the cannibalistic demons of their genetic ancestors, as all souls reincarnate. So you can just focus there for a minute and read through the list of the giants. And this is the verse mentioned here. Adoniah, the true king, murdered by Solomon. The third Absalom, the son of Maachah, the daughter of Talmai, king of Geshur. The fourth, Adoniah, the son of Haggith. And Talmai equals furrowed. One of the 3 sons of the giant Anak, who were slain by the men of Judah. Son of Ammihud, king of Geshur, later king of Geshur himself, and father of Maachah, the mother of Absalom and wife of David. This is a ligar, cross between a lion and a tiger. Massive, weighing about 1,000 pounds. What a giant pussycat.
It's still grown.
How old is this one, did it say?
It's watching a baby.
Pardon? A baby?
Mm.
Oh, wow. Beautiful. Now, when mixing similar animals like a female tiger and male lion, the size of the offspring in the lion is within the DNA or gene of the female lioness. In the tiger, the size limitation is in the male DNA gene. In one case, 2 cubs were raised together, a male lion and female tiger. Finally, as adults, they mated, and the cubs were born without the limiting DNA gene. It is called a ligar. The same occurred when the race descended from Nimrod took wives of the daughters of Shem. The limiting gene was missing. The child, like the ligar, became giant. The males of Seth have the limiting gene. Cain's descendants and human females do not have the limiting growth gene, so the giants grew to fantastic sizes. These skeletons are factual. The 36-foot giant in 650 BC to 640 AD, 25 feet 6 inches in 1630, then 23 feet in 1456 AD, 19 feet 6 inches in 1577 AD. Og was in the Bible at 12 feet. Now one was the Caesar of Rome, where the word maximum is derived. He was 8 feet 6 inches tall, Maximinus, and a 15-foot giant uncovered in Turkey in 1950, and present-day man is 6 feet. Cook wrote of discovering giants on an island off South America. He was a big man at 6 feet 3 inches. He wrote, when they were sitting on the ground, they were taller than himself. So, yes, when the giants were sitting on the ground, they were taller than he, and he was 6 foot 3 inches. In 1520 AD, from the account of Antonio Pigafetta, chronicler of Ferdinand Magellan's expedition, quoting, "But one day, without anyone expecting it, we saw a giant who was on the shore, near today's Porto San Julian, Argentina, quite naked, and who danced, leapt and sang. And while he sang, he threw sand and dust on his head. Our captain, that is Magellan, sent one of his men toward him, charging him to leap and sing like the other, in order to reassure him and to show him friendship, which he did. Immediately, the man of the ship, dancing, led this giant to a small island, where the captain awaited him. And when he was before us, he began to marvel and to be afraid, and he raised one finger upward, believing that we came from heaven. And he was so tall that the tallest of us only came up to his waist. Withal, he was well proportioned. The captain named the people of this place Patagonia. Since these reports were recorded, historians began debunking the giants as being exaggerations. Today, the Jews have also made a great deal of effort to remove the giants from the Bible. Why? The idea is to promote evolution, where man evolved from lower forms and dismissed God involved in the creation story. When the Bible was invented, truth was intermingled to include the descendants of Abraham, he of Cain. We see how the Jews have taken their ancestors of Cain, promoting his offspring as being the sons of God in Genesis 6, and have reversed the daughters of God, Seth, to daughters of men, and themselves become the sons of God and not Cain. Cain is not of God, therefore not of love and not human, while Seth is and Shem are. And it came to pass, when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them, that the sons of God, now says Lucifer, saw the daughters of men, that is Seth, that were fair. And they took them wives of all which they chose. And the Lord, that is Lucifer, said, My spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years. There were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of God, who is Lucifer, came in unto the daughters of men of Seth, and they bare children to them. The same became mighty men which were of old, that is Cain, and they became cannibals. Before the flood, men of renown. But Jesus said, No one has seen or heard God. It was all myth, written in Babylon, inventing Moses, saying it was Lucifer's sons were of him, God, there capital G underscore D, as only the Jews can write. Now the gent to the right has broken down the Bible, exposing it as fake, changing what Jesus said. How Paul, the false apostle, changed the gospel, invented his own to the gospel of grace, to do nothing yet still have salvation. But when Jesus said, he anatheme, sin can be forgiven but still has penance. The cross was to eliminate the insane Babylonian Moses laws, all man-made, which enslaved men, and was to eliminate the blood sacrifices. Mr. Davies points out how every gospel has been altered. He explains Jesus was an Essene and where to find what was actually the words of Jesus in the Essene 96 lections.